Hello, back again with another ramble. It's not been a long time since the last one, and my last one got short. I mean, got short because of my pain while talking. Okay, I didn't really get got short. I didn't have much more to say, but at the same time, it was painful to talk. Now I don't have any mouth pain, so like tooth pains or whatever. So we good, we're chilling. But that's some topics I could ramble about. Again, two things one thing at the start. Once again, my alts have been banned. I currently have two alt accounts that are banned for both for botting or macro. How do you pronounce that shit in English? And once again, appealing does nothing. And for the first account, I'm quite sure it got like falsely flagged for botting while doing food peddling. But the second account, I actually have no clue what actually triggered the ban for it, or like how it got triggered as a bot. My best guess is that I played a normal LMS game, like a last man standing competitive game, and I like died instantly. I just walked up to a guy and just told him to kill me. I couldn't like play the game. I and that account had like relatively low stats, like something like 800 total and 55 something combat level. So I suspect it got flagged as an LMS bot, but would it really do that on a basis of like one game? I used it one game and that's it. And even I'm uncertain of this. It could be something else completely, but yeah. It is somewhat annoying that there's no real way to get unbanned or like get your bans checked. Like I would love to see how often a player support actually squashes a ban, or like changes a ban, or like actually does a review or anything like that. Because I suspect it's not that often that the ban gets changed. Like it cannot be often because the data they release, the amount of accounts they ban in a month or like year to date is insane. So the volume is too much for like people to handle in like customer support. So I feel like they just keep every account banned. If they get flagged, and that's it. It's like deal with it. Unlucky. But yeah, that sucks. I'm hoping they do to get unbanned at some point. Like I will obviously in 1 year time or 2 years time or 3 years time I will send new like support tickets and hope they review it or like in a 1 year time I could actually make a support ticket saying like I'm so sorry, no, I don't, please, I learned my lesson, please unban me, and maybe that works. I have no clue, but yeah. At the same time, both of the accounts that got banned, they aren't really that significant to me. Well, I have like I don't know 30 accounts, so don't really care. But yeah, at the same time, it just sucks to get falsely flagged for something that you haven't done. But yeah, the actual topics are what I thought to make a ramble about is like change of understanding. Kind of related to what I spoke about in my last ramble about how I'm so fucking rich that I can like buy anything I want. Um, but also like money changes people. Like how I approach leveling skills and whatnot has changed. I get rich, and the more I play with alts, uh, the more I like learn about the game because I do. If I want to do a quest for an alt, I need some skill requirements, and how I approach leveling a skill now versus how I used to do it is different, and the things that hold value to me on alt accounts used to hold value, or I used to think that they would hold value, but they actually do not hold any value. The So to go like kind of cut straight into the chase of what I mean, I used to, when I started making alts, like when I had 0 alts and I started making them, I did watch the Bitcoin Chan YouTube videos. I guess many people know that guy with the fucking alt stuff. Uh, and in some video, I remember some comment was asking why don't you have like 99 crafting on the alt, so like quick banking, so you could like you always teleport with the crafting game. And I was like, oh, that's a decent question. Like, why not do it? It's quite AFK skill, and you can just do it. And I kind of thought that the gains would be insane, insane. Like having a quick bang with a crafting game, yay, huge. I used to think that was like kind of reasonable, but quite quickly, I think when I got my first alt with decent stats, well, like I did Sins of the Father. I think even at that point, I think I realized that actually going for 99 crafting on an alt is fucking useless. So the actual time it takes versus the time save you might have with quick banging and whatnot, it's insignificant. And you could get more time saves by doing other stuff like actually playing the game more efficiently otherwise and whatnot. So the method of banking, like the teleport bank, is absolutely irrelevant. So yeah, I think that kind of a changing understanding is what I'm kind of trying to convey here. So thinking that something is valuable, but realizing that it's actually a waste of time and you shouldn't do it, and it doesn't like give anything, and it's not gonna save you time. And the crafting game thing, it kind of lingered on in my mind, like to some extent. Like I realized that it's kind of useless, but at the same time I thought that okay, if I actually get rich and if I want to like flex with my alts, I will get 99 crafting on my alts. But it's just useless. I realized way too late. Like let's say I realized like 2 years after making my alts or something like that, that most of my good alts, so like every one of my good alts has Sins of the Father done because I used the wire watches. So what that means that is I have Trakan's medallion on all of my alts pretty much, which it is quite a good teleport for a bank. It is good, and yeah, it's like I somehow didn't like realize that. I somehow ignored the value of the Trakan's medallion TP for bank. It was kind of when I made that realization, like when I when a light bulb turned on in my brain, was kind of like relieving. I was like, nice. How have I missed this the whole time? But that's just an example. It's quite rare that you kind of need or want to bank even somewhat quickly on an alt. You don't really think about banking on an alt. At least I don't. Uh, the things that actually matter on an alt are things that you kind of learn by experience in a sense. It's and it is hard to convey. Things like quick banking, like the bank itself. Let's say like getting to the bank is not an like factor, not a consideration. But when you start doing like some boosting, like let's say I'm gonna do Caliphate Queen quick boosting, you want good bank tap, so like bank layout, you can actually pick the gear up quickly from. So you don't waste time on that because you will you will have like 10 alts at the bank just banking. If you have to search every item, you're gonna lose so much time. So if you have used a quick bank layout, that's gonna be the massive time save in terms of banking. That's what you like focus on. Just make that one and kind of make things easy for you in that sense. And of course, there's things to consider and things that I'm not 100% sure on. This change of understanding is going to be everlasting, which means that 1 year from now, I will realize something that I should have realized now, but I haven't. And something I've been considering is Varrock Medium Diary. So I think all of my good alts. I also have Dragon Slayer 2 done. I think I also have Work Medium done. But mainly for the Grand Exchange teleport. And I've been thinking if that actually is any value. It's like I don't regret doing a Work Medium diary because it's so easy, quick. But at the same time, I don't know if it really matters that you get to Grand Exchange quickly. It kind of does, but kind of doesn't. So, the reason why I kind of wanted that initially, the thought behind it was something along the lines of getting to G quick by a bond. But I didn't realize back then, and I still do realize this wasn't a shock. But when you run out of membership, when you turn to like free to play, the Warlock Teleport does not TP to you G. So for me to actually benefit from the G teleport from the diary, I would have to like use it while I still have membership. And more often than not, when I want to go G to buy a bond, I do not have any membership left. So I have to still run from the like middle of Park Square and whatnot. So the actual value of the diary is kind of low, or hasn't really been significant. And in addition, I just have my I think I have 3 alts with max the BOH. I always, like nowadays, if I want to use some TP, I just plan one of those max BOH alts, like account in a word, and just join the house on an alt. The alt itself doesn't need to have anything, even in its own house. Just use another alt's house and that's it. There's not much point to make it so that each account individually has access to teleports and whatnot. Like the access is just access to another player's BOH, and that's it. Yay, huge. So, in a sense, Work Medium Diary has been useless. I most likely will not do the diaries in my future alts that I'm planning on leveling up. But yeah, things like this, feel like you kind of don't think about all like, okay, I did think about all of the things beforehand. I did like make consideration and I did make plans on how I'm gonna level up my alt and whatnot. But it's hard to gauge the actual benefits from things, the benefit from quests and whatnot beforehand. It's really hard. So I feel like a lot of like for example, some people with alts will somehow feel pressure to do like Song of the Elves for like Desert Treasure 2. But if you think about it, or like if you do those quests and all, they really don't change anything. They don't really like gain you anything, give you anything. It's why would you do DT2 or Song of the Elves on an alt? Like what do you gain from it? Like the only uses are like actually if you wanna do like spec transfer stuff, or like yeah, spec transfer, and if you wanna do like scouting in Thriftiness on an alt, like the implings, the crystal imps. That's like the the only benefit you have. It's in essence zero benefit. But still, some people will do it. Some people will feel somewhat pressure to do it. It will like kind of feel valuable before you do it. It's because they are significant milestones on an account. Like that, you cannot like deny that. Like on a normal main account, it kind of does change things if you have those quests done or not. What do if I have much else to say about that topic? Kind of not that topic itself, but kind of a related topic. This kind of stuff also applies to skilling, like how I approach leveling up skills. Like for example, smithing. So I think you need is it 86 meeting if you want to do the Kovacs Kirk boost for Arcane on the fortified elite ward on an alt, which could be useful. So I actually did level up smithing, like AFK smithing on a few accounts. And to be clear, I've never done AFK smithing before, so animal smithing. I've always done blast furnace, like always on all of my alt before. And when I started doing, I think I did AFK smithing on 2 alt simultaneously. What I started doing was just basic stuff like as soon as I unlocked the elemental bars, I started making like what bolts or like dart tips. And at some point, I don't remember when it was. I think it was like 81 smithing or something like that. So quite well deep into the small grind. I realized that holy shit, you actually have the kill parts. So from sailing the kill parts from smithing, you actually unlock the kill parts. I think at the same level as you unlock the bar. So when you can do like a mithril dagger, you can also do mithril kill parts. And since the amount of XP you get from a bar is like same, no matter how many like bars the item you smith takes, kill parts are in essence the best way to level up AFK smithing. If you don't want to consider the GP XP thing, which is not really a consideration for me, and even for normal player, it's not, you don't lose a lot doing kill parts. But yeah, realizing that, okay, I actually wasted a lot of time doing fucking dart tips or like bolts where I could have done like kill parts from the very get-go. That kind of stuff, happens a lot with alts when you start leveling up. I'm not sure how you would like avoid that kind of mistake. Because that kind of stuff, when I previously like 1 minute ago, I did say that I do like consider how I want to level up my alt, what quests I want to do, how I want to progress them. I do that kind of stuff, but I don't do it on a level of like I don't plan the exact skilling methods I will use per se. So I just have a goal of okay, get to level 86 smithing, and that's it. I don't really think about how I'm gonna do it. So I don't really like troubleshoot or like craft the optimal path to that actual smithing level I'm going for. It's not in the considerations at all. I kind of rely on like how I've done leveling up on other accounts, which kind of works, but at the same time when I'm playing on like 4 accounts or 5 accounts or 7 accounts or 9 accounts at the same time, the access to skilling methods and how you want to approach them kind of changes. You cannot do the same type of skilling in every scenario. It's not possible, at least not for me. But yeah, I don't know if I have some similar examples of that. Oh yeah, on one account, I don't know how I actually ended up doing this brain fart. But on one account, I actually did level up agility up kind of like manually, which is fucking stupid on an alt. But I mean by manually, I think I did like 40 to 50-ish by clicking rooftops on the side by playing on other accounts. And that is just fucking dumb. Since with the current quest XP boost or like quest rewards, I think you can get something like 70, I think at least 74, maybe even higher, 74 agility by only doing like quest rewards, not even doing a single bit of training yourself. So I somehow ended up doing like manual agility leveling on and off. That is a brain fart. Somehow it happened. But now I've learned my lesson, or at least I believe I've learned my lesson, and I will in the future just simply do the quests and level up agility that way. But at the same time, the question becomes: do I actually need agility on alt anymore? I don't think I'll need 70 agility on any alt anymore since I have so many with 20 plus. But yeah, still a thing to consider, still a thing to keep in mind. And there's stuff like leveling up hunter or like sailing. I have not started leveling up sailing with Tears of Goddix, but I maybe should. I'm not sure how valuable that will be. So most of my alts have like level up on sailing, but you could do the Pandemonium quest and just do Tears of Goddix at that point and get like, I don't know, level 50 with Tears of Goddix. It would take, is it 2 months or how much? I'll say it's 2 months. But that's the thing that it's hard to assess how valuable is leveling up sailing on your alt. It's I consider it somewhat impossible to make that assessment because you don't really know what kind of content sailing unlocks in the future. And leveling up sailing on your alt at this point is kind of a bet on some type of content releasing where you could use alts for boosting a spec transfer or whatnot or DPS, which would require you to have something like, let's say, 50 sailing to actually like join with your own sloop or whatnot. But yeah, that is stuff. That kind of stuff is hard to assess. I don't deny that. That is undeniably hard, at least for me. The hunter stuff. Hunter is luckily a useless skill. Like you don't really need it for like that many quests or diaries or methods or whatnot. But I think on all of my accounts I do have Dixad done, like Dragon Slayer 2 and whatnot. So it is an interesting question whether I should actually do like passive birdhouse runs, like do 10 accounts on a birdhouse run at the same time for slow progress on the skill. It's again, that kind of stuff is hard to assess. The clear answer, like the easy answer is no, don't do that because Hunter is useless. But there are some scenarios where Hunter could be useful. So if you actually want to make like scout alts for Song of the Elves, like Crystal Aim Scouts, you do need, I think it's 70 Hunter you need. And if you want to do like, I think it's Wilderness Hard Diary, which I think 6800, I think it is. For those type of scenarios, you might want to level up Hunter. But again, I don't know how much value those things that I mentioned have. Does it actually have value to me to get to Song of the Elves, Scout, Crystal Imps? How many imps I'm gonna scout? How much I'm gonna get paid for it? How long I'm gonna do it for? This all play into the like value assessment. And yeah, there are undeniably like I don't doubt for a second that the way I level up my alts, there are most likely more efficient ways, but I'm not like aware of them. I just kind of accept that. I'm not stressed about it. I'm not the type of person to. I would rather like play inefficiently or like 5 accounts rather than like do theory crafting for like 10 hours with zero progress and then do something more efficiently. So yeah, I just play the game. Efficient or inefficient, I play the game and I try to make progress, which I pretty much always do. Slowly but surely. Like for example, this scenario, I'm playing on 5 accounts. The progress I'm making is slow, but it is something. It is still better than nothing. It is decent. Yeah, what else to say? I did have other topics, but maybe I'll keep them into the future. There is this topic of I'm not sure if I've talked about it in some previous ramble, but I wish Jagex would like stick to some implementations that they have done or I've tried so far. What I dislike about the game, like how they approach things, like let's say the Randy Slayer ban, like the ban and reverting and XP rollbacks and whatnot. I feel like they would have clear stances on how they want to do things or like plan things or like approach things. This applies to loot mechanics, bossing mechanics, skilling mechanics, skilling standards, how to punish people who abuse methods and whatnot. I feel like hope those would be more consistently applied rules or like approaches instead of like kind of an individual basis making shit up. And what I mean by this, I'm sure I've talked about it in a previous ramble somewhere, but loot mechanics, like let's say DT2 bosses, the vestige mechanics, where you get actually it's like split into 3 drops which you need to get instead of like just one, which kind of makes the chance of going unlucky less likely or like less painful, and kind of limits the chance of like just spooning on first KC also. I think that kind of approach is great, and it's just an example of they did implement something which they haven't done that much beyond releasing that one. So at what point do they like stop trying with new systems, and at what point do they kind of like stick with their guns, like, okay, this system, this is good, this works, we should like stick with it. At what point does that happen? Because I feel like they've tried quite a lot of stuff. There's quite many bosses in the game, quite many different types of loot mechanics. There's surely they're able to like infer something like which kind of a mechanic is satisfying for the players. Like surely they do have that data. Like surely. If they don't, then there's like kind of shooting ideas into the wall and seeing what sticks in a sense. And even if it sticks, they don't really like apply it in the future. They shoot random stuff into the wall. They don't know what is actually behind the reason why something sticks. They just do it and enjoy the fruits, I guess. It's odd to me, but yeah. Oh yeah, actually forgot to mention going back to the previous thing about the Dragon's Medallion where medium direct TPs on an alt. I used to think that like Eternal Glory, which I have on this account, I used to think that is a huge value. Like, oh, I wanted that stuff so bad at some point when I started playing on like my main account. I was like, oh damn, I would love to have an Eternal Glory, but now that I'm rich and now that I have it, I seldomly use it. Like it's not that common that I use it. I pretty much I do transfer Eternal Glory on an alt that I do questing, and this means that the only value I see Eternal Glory having is the questing value, because you can like TP to Al-Kharid and Trainer Village, which are very common spots in many quests. So even that has been a change of perspective or change of understanding. The the value of an item, Eternal Glory in this case, used to be high in my eyes, but now it's like, nah, it does not matter almost at all. It's not a huge time save. It's a minor quality of life, but even that is kind of insignificant. If you manage your DPs and if you use like, I don't know, buy 1k house tabs and use DP into your like mains house, you kind of get the same benefit, same end result. So yeah, I would say Eternal Glory is a noob trap, or like what it's called, a pitfall for noobs. I'm sure some noobs actually buy that or like thinking that it's actually good, but it's not. It's nothing special. But yeah, things like that. You get these realizations by playing the game and experiencing stuff, and yeah, it is somewhat fun how the brain is so stupid it doesn't make these realizations beforehand. But yeah, I think that's about this video. I do have other topics, but not really. They're more like in real life related. Okay, for archival purposes, I could mention that I did start going on hinge dates, I think last week-ish. Now I don't know how much I want to speak about it, since these videos might be listened in the future by people. So, it's been interesting. It's been at the same time, in a negative way, surprising, and in a positive way, surprising. I guess it's kind of actually both positive in a way. So I actually had to hide my profile after like 5-6 days. No 6-7 memes at this time. But after like 5 to 6 days, I had to like hide my profile because I was like getting so many likes that I was like, okay, I'm getting fucking flooded by this shit. I will not have time to go on dates on all of these chicks. So yeah, that was kind of painful. But I guess that's a positive problem in a sense. And also the other positive thing is that the dates I've been on have been pleasant. Like they've been nice. I don't know how how the women have experienced it, but I've enjoyed them. And my expectation was not as high. I was like kind of expecting less enjoyment, less satisfaction, less gratification. But yeah, I think that's about it. We continue skilling, we continue playing, we continue living the life. Easy. See you and thanks.